We are waking up to a shock. 11 officers shot in Dallas. 5 of them have been killed. Let's get right to this breaking news. Here's what we know. It all started before 9 o'clock local time in Dallas. A march protesting this week's officer-involved shootings in Louisiana and Minnesota had just wrapped up when gunmen opened fire in what's being described now as a coordinated ambush-style attack.
As we said, 5 officers were killed, 4 from the Dallas Police Department. The 5th was a Dallas area rapid transit officer. At least 6 other officers were wounded, along with 1 civilian.
President Obama, who's at a NATO summit in Poland, spoke earlier this morning. He said he was horrified by the attack. He called it vicious, calculated, and despicable. We have complete coverage this morning. Let's start with NBC's Gabe Gutierrez at the scene for us. Gabe, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. It was a protest against police violence, and then violence erupted. As you mentioned, 11 officers shot this morning. 5 of them are dead, and much of downtown Dallas is still on lockdown. But within the past few minutes, we just learned that authorities finished sweeping the area for explosives and found none.
After this week's police shooting deaths of black men in Louisiana and Minnesota, what began as a peaceful protest in downtown Dallas turned suddenly into chaos. Just before 9 p.m., terrified demonstrators running for cover, others stopping to help the injured. Cell phone video capturing the barrage of gunfire.
Shots fired, officer down. It's an assist officer.
Police ducking behind squad cars and buildings. One officer ditching his motorcycle, taking cover.
Snipers just started shooting. Man, like all of the cops were getting shot, man. I just saw cops bending over, man. Like it had to been like 5 or 6 cops, like they was all getting shot down.
Authorities calling it an ambush.
We heard the shots, and I saw one of the officers land down on his stomach, and he was non-responsive. They rolled him over.
At least 2 snipers in elevated positions opening fire during the rally on officers who were not wearing riot gear.
These suspects were positioning themselves in a way to triangulate on these officers from 2 different perches in garages in the downtown area, and planned to injure and kill as many law enforcement officers as they could.
Overnight, shocked confusion. Dallas coming to grips with a rapidly unfolding national tragedy.
We both saw a baby stroller left in the middle of the street, and people walked over to the baby stroller and they picked it up. Like, I guess the parent was in shock.
The frantic search for answers as a tense standoff was underway. A suspect cornered in a parking garage exchanging gunfire with police. By 1 a.m., authorities saying another suspect, a woman, was taken into custody near the garage. 2 people seen leaving the area in a Mercedes were also stopped and being questioned. Then horrifying threats from the gunman inside the garage.
Told our negotiators that the end is coming, and he's going to hurt and kill more of us, meaning law enforcement, and that there are bombs all over the place in this garage and in downtown.
Within minutes, bystanders heard a blast. By 2:25 local time, that suspect was dead. Police swept the area for possible explosive devices and found none. A massive investigation now underway after the deadliest attack on U.S. law enforcement since 9/11.
At this point, it is unclear what relationship, if any, the suspects had with the actual demonstration. Now, this all happened not far from Dealey Plaza, and more than half a century after the Kennedy assassination, this city is grieving after another national tragedy. At least 5 officers murdered in the line of